All right, what's up, guys? One of the pluses and also one of the minuses of having my own YouTube channel is it's a great plus that I get to check out some awesome knives. Okay? It's also a negative that I get to check out some awesome knives because oftentimes I don't want to send them off to their owners. And or it brings up memories of when I had an opportunity to buy something and I didn't. And this is such a case. This is the Microtech Amphibian. I had an opportunity to get these at Blade Show West last year, 2023, and I just didn't. And then I had somebody send one in about 7 months ago, and I did a video on it. And I talked about that too, and I'm not going to go into the whole story because I don't want to just bore you saying the same thing over and over again. And then I saw this one on the NC Blades Facebook group and maybe on their website. This is a special one, as you can tell by that blade, and we're going to zoom in and talk about that in just a moment. And then my buddy Aussie Mike bought it and sent it to me. So now I get to check it out. I get to handle it. This one was quite a bit more expensive than what I could have bought at Blade Show, which is okay. And yeah, I'm going to have to send it on down to the land down under. So what we have here is Vegas forged razor wire Damascus with a DLC coating. Now, DLC, unlike PVD, a lot of people get them confused. Let's see if I have a PVD coated over here. The Red Horse Knife Works Automatic Hellraiser is DLC. Hold on here. We have DLC coating on the Microtech, and we have PVD coated on the Hellraiser. PVD is something vapor and whatever, it doesn't really matter. What matters is PVD is a solid color. It totally covers the blade and you can't see through it. Okay? DLC, you can see through. It is translucent and you can see that razor wire pattern on the Damascus. If you PVD coated this, it would look just like this with a fancy steel underneath that you would never notice. So DLC is absolutely the way to go, especially when you want to see the pattern underneath. Whatever that pattern is. This could just be a standard mono blade steel, but you've done a hamon or you've done some hand grinding or mirror polish finish or things like that, you may still want to DLC coat it to protect it. Think of it as a clear coat on a car, yet it's blackish. Okay, it's like a black clear coat, if you will. You still get to see the color underneath. You still get to see the vibrance of the blade. It's just muted with black. I think it's a great look. I think it's awesome, and more people should do that. So you have carbon fiber scales. You have DLC-coated titanium backspacer and pocket clip, and DLC-coated hardware. The only thing that's not DLC or blacked out is the spring in the RAM-Lok. That's it. Everything else is blacked out, and it looks fantastic. Okay? Just a couple of the specs, because I did go through the specs in the other video, and I will put a link to that up here if you want all of the details. 5 3/8 closed, 9 1/4 overall. So this is a big knife, okay? It's for the big boys that aren't afraid to carry something that might scare the HR lady in the lunchroom, okay? 3.89 inch blade with 3.5 inch cutting edge. We talked about the blade steel. Weighs in at 5 ounces, 5.5 ounces. And I think it's fantastic. They also do this model with aluminum scales, with carbon fiber scales, and just black DLC blade. Like, there are several different configurations of the actual knife. Now, as far as a production knife, this thing is maybe one of the sharpest straight up production knives I have gotten in a long time. It's even going to slice right through the cardboard with very little effort at all. If I can pay attention to what I'm doing, right? This thing, yes. Knives are made to be used. And yes, I am using somebody else's knife. It happens. It's okay. Okay, get a little bit of marks here on the DLC, and DLC is diamond-like coating, for those of you that are unaware. It does just wipe right off. It's no harm, no foul. That is the beauty of DLC coating. PVD is also very robust. They're just different, and I've talked about that in other videos. Now, this one is still breaking in, okay? There is, I hate to call it lock stick, but every so often there is a little bit of stickiness here in the RAM-Lok, and that is pretty normal with the RAM-Lok, with an access lock. When you first get a knife, it really takes some use to kind of wear that mating surface of the lock and the lock face of the blade to kind of commingle those into one. So that is not an issue, and it has gotten better as I have been handling this prior to filming. I don't know that I want to rush out and buy one, but I kind of do. You know what I mean? I probably wouldn't carry it much. I've kind of evolved into much more stupid and crazy expensive knives, but I still really like this model. And this particular example is fantastic with that razor wire Damascus blade. Oh man, I totally misfired that myself. This one is PVD coated. Again, another example of PVD. And this one gets a lot of use. A lot of that is just tape residue, but there are some actual scratches in this blade because I use this a lot. This one I would use in the yard or opening bags of sand and things like that. I wouldn't care, and I would just use this for that dirty kind of abusive type work. I would not do that with this necessarily unless I was in a situation, and then you just use the tools that you've got. So there you go. The Microtech Amphibian kind of ramble about this knife. Go check out my Microtech playlist in the corner. I've done a ton of them over the years.